Hey everybody, and welcome to the vlog. It's that moment when you're about to start making a video and your wife calls you and you need to pick some stuff up and go and take it to her. So we're gonna do that and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. So what we're gonna actually be doing today is our special project is we're gonna be taking an old computer I've had for forever laying around. It's actually one of my second builds that I ever did back for my father when I was 17, something like that. And we're going to be turning that into a NAS array for my home. A lot of times what you can do is you can find these NAS arrays online, like QNAP, Synology, something like that, for a reasonable price for the most part. But their expansion is pretty limited, mostly to 4 to 5 bays. And that's, if you're running any type of RAID configuration, it's going to mess you up in general for your space and storage needs. What I've decided to do, and that's around the same price range, for it's like $700 to $800 if you're going to go the real route. What I wanted to do was specifically make it so that you could make that same kind of cost investment, but for much more space. So, with George's help, hey buddy, he loves that pillow. That's what he goes for. So this is actually my office. It doubles as his bed in the time too. So what we're taking here is this older computer. It's an AMD Athlon, I believe, with 4 gigs of RAM. And honestly, I had 2 computers, this one and another one. And the reason this one was chosen instead was kind of primarily due to this 4 gigs of RAM. If you guys don't know, you need the RAM to act as kind of a cache or a buffer while you're transferring files. So the more RAM you have, the better off you are. Specifically, one of the boxes that I was looking at on the Synology side was an 8 gig RAM setup with 5 bays. So there was a lot of good cache there. But then, you get into the I want to say limitation and the expansion cost that you get into with sitting there wanting to expand anything. They make you buy their little proprietary piece of crap, and you keep spending more and more money. The way I'm going to have this set up when I get to the full explanation here, I'm going to be able to do at least 8 drives in RAID 5. So I'll be able to do a pretty good amount more for almost, I'm going to say at least half the price of what one of those drives had. So the one main reason that we're going to have to do with this, as you can see a little bit to the left there, I have some parts. This power supply in this one blew out. So we're going to have to even see if this boots up. Hopefully it does. If not, we'll have to go to plan B, but I'm hoping that happens. The other thing that I got to make a true NAS was this ICYDock 4-bay, it's a 3-bay, 5 1/4, so 1, 2, 3, and that turns into 5 hot swap drives. So in a tower like this, which when I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra spaces here, and I could put one up here if I wanted to. So really, I have 5 bays right here, but in the end scheme, I'm gonna want to be able to expand that as much as I want. And these have pretty easy. You just pull that, pops out, and you get it. If I could pull, you get a drive out of it, and you put the drive in, and it goes right back up in there pretty easily. And now we're going to add in our RAID controller, and we're going to put this to work. I ended up getting the extra battery for this bad boy so that it doesn't lose its configuration. Just hook that in. So we're actually going to take this guy and make sure that he's in here. Connected, there we go. And I'm just going to take him and put him in here. He's going to be going in our motherboard's only PC16 slot. He's only an 8, but that's all he needs. So I'm just going to slide right in there. And we're going to bolt him down. The other side of this coin is that we're going to have, an upgrade from what the NAS and Synology boxes would actually have, and those are the 4 gig ports that I'm going to add in here. And that's just going to go into our PCI one-time slot, so that's all it needs. And I'm going to grab a bolt to put him down on as well. So for that part, I mean, that's pretty much all we're going to be doing. We're going to hook these. Those already have one rail of SATA power in. And take these two and put them nicely behind here. Just put them in there. That's fine. It doesn't matter where they go. And then we're going to take our one port and put him in on our card right there. And then our second port, even though we're not going to use him just yet, and put him on the second part there. And he'll just dangle for now. So let's see if it boots up. Oh, gotta turn the power on the power supply. Get some green in there. There's one beep. We got a post. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We got the UnRAID SAS controller already being recognized. And we're good to go. Now let's start adding some drives and put on a keyboard at least. So for this build, I am going to end up using these Seagate Barracudas. They're 4 terabyte drives. I know a lot of people are, iffy with Seagates. Honestly, I'm willing to give them a shot. I'll see what happens. They're, standard 5400 RPM drives. Nothing too special about them. I do know that I got them on sale, so that was a good thing. A lot of my stuff, you'll find I try to get the best deals with the hardware I find. So the only downsides that some people see to the IC box that we have here is that it's not 100% hot swappable. What it actually ends up being is a mounting bracket that I'm going to put the drive in, and I'm going to basically mount it in just like I normally would a drive with screws. So we're going to do that on all 3 drives, because I told you I'm going to start off with 3, and then we're going to go from there. And now, since they're all ready to go, we're going to pop them in one at a time here. So they just go in just like that. Ah. Alright, so our first step in setting up our NAS server will be going over to our UnRAID setup. This is my Lime Tech. I always forget that. But we're going to come in here and go over, pricing and everything like that. I'm only going to be doing 3 drives, so I'll be eventually getting this. But to start off here, we're just going to do the free trial and be fine with that. And then we'll just do an upgrade later on with the keys. I'll actually be using this in a build after this as well, which will be using this in a build later as well. Just for right now, we're going to be doing the NAS build first. So we're going to do we're going to actually get the USB creator here, and I have a USB sitting in my drive right now in one of my USB ports. It's a 32 gig stick. It doesn't need to be any bigger than I think 16, but I just 32 is like $9, so okay, whatever. So we're going to be taking the latest stable version that I'd like to have there. Actually, we're going to do the latest stable version. We can do the next or anything like that. We're just going to do basic stuff, And here's the SanDisk 32 gig that I put in there. It's formatted down to 29.3. And it's pretty simple. We're just literally going to do this. We're going to do it. It's going to tell us that we're going to need to erase everything, and it's going to be wiped, and then we're just doing our wipe and erase. This process used to be a lot more complicated, but with the newer versions of UnRAID, they've made it pretty easy to do. You're just going to use this tool and write the RAIDs out, and that's it. It's going to do the extraction and make it bootable for you and everything right off the bat, so you don't have to put any more thought than is really necessary, to be honest with you. And we're done. So we'll get out of that. We'll get out of this. What we end up coming down to is we see the UnRAID. It's relabeled it to UnRAID here. You used to have to do this bootable batch file, but that's all built in now. Long story short, it's ready to go. We'll basically be taking this out and running it against our machine now. All right, after we have our USB formatted with our tool, this is what you should see. It'll come up. I've already IP'd this to my personal IP that I want here. But to get there, you would just type in http://tower is the default. And once we're in here, this is it. I've actually already gone ahead and done the trial key just to have that available. You have to have at least a trial key to start the process of actually creating an array. And we go in here, we can see all kinds of different metrics and everything is here. It's recognized all 3 drives that I have that I put in. Nothing's valid. I can have CPU load. I have dual core, obviously, showing that my RAM is at 18% with my 4 gigs that I've installed, and it's actually 3.7 when it's allocated. The other side to that is that we now need to basically create our array. So we're going to go to our main, and we're going to find all of our drives. I'm kind of just going. There is a difference where you can look up the drive IDs and look them and find what they are. I'm going in order, so I have SDB, SDC, and then SDD, which I imagine is drive 0, 1, and 2. You have to set your parity drive first. I want that to be my first slot. And then once that happens, you can select any of the other disks that you would like to see. If they're smart compatible, they'll show temperatures and stuff here. The way I have this set up, it's not going to read the smart readings, and I don't really care, to be honest with you. The place they're going to be in is very cool. It's a tower case, so it has a whole bunch of fans and everything anyway. So then what we'll want to do is start the array. Once we've started all that, it'll mount all the disks, starting the services on the bottom here. And now we can actually see that everything in here is loading correctly. What we'll want to do, which is saying, the parity sync is going to take a while. What I'm also going to do is run where is it? Okay, no, so these drives are already formatted, so we have these ready to go. We're literally just going to be waiting on the parity sync that happens with those. So when we want to do anything with that, obviously it's going to say parity is invalid until that happens. And what we're going to end up doing is creating a share. But what I'd like to do is wait for all that to happen. So we're going to come back when I'm going to fast forward this video and have it so that our parity sync is 100%. All right. All right. And now that we see that our parity drive is finally caught up with the rest of the circuits here, we finally see that each drive is being recognized correctly. Has some statistics here. I just threw a reboot on it just to get the baseline statistics, even though we could just clear those down here if we'd like to. So let's go ahead and create a share. Get everything going here. If you've noticed, I've went ahead and named mine Fat Boy, and the description is NAS. So I've created this share here, so main. So that's just going to be everything. Honestly, I just want to have one share folder in the specific NAS, and then I'll just go and create folders as we go. So that's been created. We hit done. We're out of here. We can even compute what's in there. Nothing in there, obviously. And what we'll do then is show that we can get into that array. Let's just do right here. So here we see the flash, which we're not going to mess with. That's just the base flash file that is the actual USB on the device, which is interesting. You can actually just get into that because you theoretically can go ahead and change all these configs and reboot, and it would take these. So what we'd actually want to do is here's their main. Go ahead and have this in here as a movie file. And then I have some movies from my wife that she wanted. They are... I'll find here, I have a file that is a Disney collection of movies that my wife wanted. This is going to be 86 gigs, so let's see how well this does. So we're seeing a transfer rate right around 80 megs a second, which is pretty good. It's going to increase a little bit as it gets its parity done, but I guess you guys can't see that. Let me actually put it in the right window here. All right, there we go. And then what I'm going to do is show that so during that load, we're getting our dual key CPUs are spiking to about 70% each, so about 50 to 60% usage overall. Memory is not fluctuating that much, and what we can see on our actual reads and writes is it'll show us what's going on here. Just base stuff, but for the most part, that's all we really need. And I mean, from a network perspective, being able to put all that on there, it's a pretty good deal. 60, as it goes through all these different movies, it's not a bad time at all. And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I need to do. You can go in here and create different users if you want. I'm just on root right now. What I'll eventually do is create my own user, and then probably my wife will have one as well. And that way, you could each access the device either way we'd like to. So, yeah. For any other types of settings or anything in here, we would, if you're just going to do a basic Windows setup, your network settings are in here. You do all your different interfaces. I have several that I'll eventually do port bonding with. I have it set up with the first two right now, but it's obviously down. I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to try it on my router. I have an AC 5300, and it's supposed to support this mode, but we'll figure that out. And then later on, if I was going to get to it, I would get a layer 3 switch. I'm sorry, and actually do this LA CP configuration, put it on all 5 ports, so I'd have theoretically a 5 gig connection to the NAS. Although no connection from any one computer would actually compete with that. So, the real benefit to that at that point is actually multiple computers accessing the NAS at the same time would be able to not lose throughput. So we'll hopefully have that there. Yeah, that's all for today, and I hope everybody felt this was a good tutorial on what UnRAID can actually do for you. I'll see you in the next video. You guys have a great day.